All right. Well, for those that have decided to sign up for Relationship Summer School, you are with yours truly, Coach Brian Thomas. I am a relationship coach, life coach, dating coach, and my goal is to put you in the best position to win concerning relationships, life, and purpose. So tonight, you will get a different point of view of relationships. You will get a different understanding that you probably have not gotten before concerning relationships. So let me go back to the top. I want to go. All right. So let me go ahead and close this door here because I've got other people here. So yeah, give me a second. All right. So doors closed, no distractions, no anything. All right. So make sure you can see me here. All right. So this first class this week is called The Purpose of Relationships. This is week 1 of 10. At the end, you'll get the topic for the next week. But I will warn you, this definitions of relationships are going to be different. I'm not going to come to you the normal way that you're used to. This information that you're going to get tonight is going to be able to be applied, especially to your romantic life. So here we are, starting with week number 1. What is a relationship? What exactly is a relationship? Let's define it. It is the way in which 2 or more concepts, objects, or people are connected, or the state of being connected. So a relationship can be 2 concepts, 2 objects, but mainly what we're going to be diving into is people. So there is a cultural definition of relationships that is somewhat limited to romantic point of view or the family point of view. But tonight, we're going to dive into or define from the cultural, romanticized points of view. Our objective tonight is to introduce you to the true purpose of relationships and how they can impact you in the future. Now, you guys can come off of mute. I got some notes here, but ask yourself, what do you think of when you hear the word relationship? What do you think of? You can come off of you can come off of mute and you can tell me, hey, what do I think of when I hear about the word relationship? Anybody can answer.
More than friends.
Okay. And that's it, just more than friends?
To me, something serious. Kind of like the normal thing, I think.
Right. So when I review or I look at relationships, the way that I was taught growing up was a relationship was 2 ships on the water sharing the same space. So both individuals are in a ship called their life. And the pathway that they go to, or the pathway that they go through, is the sea of life. So their life, meaning their boat, is going down the sea of life, the different experiences, different things that they will see, and both of those ships working together to enhance those experiences. Now, here we have, when you ask yourself about the word relationship, these are probably some of the first things that come to your mind. Platonic friendship. That means, hey, we're friends. Nothing would we consider to be romantic. Could it go to romantic? It very well could. But platonic friendship is simply that. You guys are there helping each other out as you're growing through life. This can be male and female. This can be male and male. This can be female and female. So it's simply what I would consider to be just that, friendship. Call each other on the phone, you have a conversation, you talk, you share ideas, you grow together. Platonic, which means that the benefit that you get is you and that person are sharing your lives with each other, and you're evolving and you're helping in some way, shape, or form with that evolving. All right. So now let's go to another word that we may think about with relationship: dating. Now, some people have their philosophies in dating. It can be one person, it can be 5. I would not recommend 5 people. If you're going to date, possibly may look at maybe 2, possibly 3. But if you're dealing with a different person every day of the week, you're probably going to get confused. So you might not want to do 5, but you may decide, say, hey, you know what? I'm going to date this person. There's a prospect here. And I may date this person. There's a prospect here. Dating does not mean commitment. We will dive into what the commitment is a little bit later. So, dating, it can be one person exclusively, or it can be multiple people. Now, would I recommend multiple people? Possibly. Depends on where you are in your life. But if you're going to work with me, I'm usually going to lean more towards the one person. All right. Courting. Dating and courting are 2 different things. Does anybody want to guess what maybe the difference between courting and dating may be?
Dating is you are enjoying that person's space, you know, you hang out or whatever. Courting means that, okay, we're kind of like a promise ring, is kind of almost exclusive. It's exclusive, but there is no marriage, should we say, or a proposal on the table yet. A proposal has not been made yet, but there's a commitment to each other to say, hey, we're only going to see each other. We're not going to see other people. In other words, you being able to date 2 and 3 other people, that's now off the table in the courting process. At least that's what I thought of it way back in the day.
That is very, very good. And we will dive into why courting and dating and what it requires. All right.
My thought was, I'm sorry. I thought courting was more like dating, yes, with some exclusivity, but my thought was like courting was more so dating with a purpose or dating with an actual intent. So not really exactly with marriage on the table, but with definitely like that intent, like more with some serious intent.
That is a great way of looking at it. Now, I'm going to dive into courting. So, courting is like this. All right. You guys are familiar with, if you're familiar with any type of sports. All right. So, every summer in the National Basketball Association, there are teams that court or pursue different players to come to their team. That would not be considered dating. That would be considered courting, because there's an actual purpose to obtain something. So with dating, dating is the collection of information. Courting is, I have the information and I've desired to be a part of what that information is going to bring to my life. So when I'm courting, I have developed and learned the information that I need to know. And so now I have made a decision to begin the pursuit. So dating is the collection of the data. Courting is the implementation of the data into now gaining what it is that we desire to do together. Now, the next thing from courting, from the dating now to the courting, is the actual, I would consider to be the boyfriend, girlfriend, the boo, significant other. I put bae there for just intents and purposes, but I really don't like that word, because if you look that word up and what it really means, that is definitely not a word that I want to use. It's a word for something that we all don't really like to talk about. But if people want to use it in the culture, that's fine. I told my significant others, potential significant others, if you call me bae, I am dropping you off at the sea of forgetfulness, and you're going to have to swim back to shore. Do not call me bae at all. If you do that, I'm not going to play those games.
You just made me.
You said what now?
You just made me Google it.
Oh, you understand what it means now, huh?
Now I do, because I'm like, okay, he kind of tripping. So let me see what's going on.
Do you
Yeah,
now
I
I
already did
understand?
that.
No,
Do you understand my pain with that?
I mean, I do now. When I first started typing it, I knew that it was already a system, like literally a system. But then, like when I seen the, the Urban Dictionary, what it means, I was like, oh, okay, bad
Yeah,
taste here. Mm.
Yeah, that Urban Dictionary is of the devil, but it told the truth on that one right there. I'm telling you. So for whoever my future wife is, the moment that she says bang, she's going on probation for life. She will not get off until she puts a ring on my finger. When she puts a ring on my finger, I'll give her some grace. But until then, you call me bae once, you're on probation. You call it to me again, we're going into prayer. And we're not coming out until bae is denounced out of your spirit. But anyway, we're gonna leave that alone. So, all right. So, boyfriend, girlfriend, meaning we have established that we're both going in the same direction. There's an establishment. Now, in the courting phase, there's still a decision to be made. There is an intention, and there is a, hey, we're desiring to go in the same direction, but there's no solidification. The solidification is not until both say, hey, we're desiring to be in a relationship. Now, after the boyfriend, girlfriend, or significant other phase, there is the fiance, husband, or man, woman. They're both said the same way, but the fiancé is the woman, the fiance is the man. So what this means is there is an intention that is towards marriage. So one thing that I emphasize to anybody that I work with is you better make sure that when you get to this level, you know exactly what you're getting into. Because this level right here, out of relationship, is probably one of the most deceptive levels that you will walk into. People have thought that getting to this level right here meant they were in the clear. One of the mistakes that I made as a fiance was I got comfortable in thinking, well, because we're engaged, that means we're on our way to something. No. That's when that devil shows up. Now, I keep it 100 here. So if you were trying to refrain from hunching in the boyfriend, girlfriend stage, in the fiance and fiance stage, that hunching goes to a whole nother level, because you almost home. You like, oh, this is gonna be my husband. Oh, this is gonna be my wife. Oh, I want to try out some of the tricks. Don't do it. Don't do it. Y'all see this right here? this Robitussin. I got NyQuil that I've been taking to help me get over this cold. But I will always keep a bottle of NyQuil because just in case the devil show up, I am going to sleep. I will go to sleep on the devil. Do not care. You will not get me. I will not fall. NyQuil will save your life if you want to keep yourself. All right. Next one, which would be what everybody wants to get to. Husband, wife. This is where everybody wants to get to. This is where a majority of the individuals that will come to me, this is where they want to get to. This is where I can say, I smile because when I'm able to help somebody get to this level, that means that we have started a journey that brings the favor of God. The favor of God, the most favor that you will receive will be in this institution right here. Now, the favor that you get for the favor that you will have in your life by yourself, that's great. But there's something about unity. There's something about coming together as a team that God looks at and says, hey, you know what? I want to go ahead and I want to bless it. Now, most individuals in our culture do not have a good understanding of this. They have an understanding of what gender roles are, but they do not have a good understanding of what it means to be a husband or what it means to be a wife. Those are sacrificial terms. Those are not titles. Those are sacrifices. If you desire to become a husband, which I desire to, that's a sacrifice. If you desire to become a wife, that's a sacrifice. You notice I didn't say rings. You notice I didn't say house. You notice I didn't say property. You notice I didn't say all of the stuff that the culture has emphasized over and over again. I am giving you what it really means. If we look at the definition of what those things mean, those are sacrifices. You lay down your life. You're laying down your life. You're laying down what you may particularly want to do for the purpose of coming together and growing with that individual, which means that you're going to have to ask yourself, is this really what I want? Or is it just something that I want to experience because everybody else is doing it? There's a lot of people that want to experience marriage because that's what they want to do, because it's an opportunity for us to come together and have sex. I can now begin to share bills. I can now begin to do things that I normally have done by myself. I can do it with the help of another person. And that's all fine and dandy, but those are all byproducts. The goal for marriage is evolution, not status. If a person is getting married for status, they already have their status in themselves. Your status is in you. Your status is not in your title. Your status is in you. You are the one that establishes who you are, not the other person. And so what we find out a lot of times is that people, they get married, they get in a relationship because they want a certain status. I hate to tell you this, but all you're getting is a title. All you're getting is, you're literally getting a state piece of paper that identifies you as a title. It's a responsibility, and it's a sacrifice. Now, what do all of these elements have in common? They are agreed upon by both individuals. Oh, you said to serve. Thank you. And to serve. Thank you. We'll dive into that. We'll dive into that into the other weeks. They require agreement. They are agreed upon by both individuals. They require a moderate to a very high level of communication. Everything points back to agreement and communication. You will hear me talk about the word agreement very much during this session because it's agreement that you make the choice, not feelings. All right. Next slide. Now, what is considered not, or what is not considered a relationship? Situationship. We're going to see where it goes. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see if this is going to be something that goes on. How many of us have been in situationships before? Situation. It's a situation. It ain't a relationship. It's we're going to see what happens. If it goes someplace, cool. If it doesn't, cool. It's just a situation. Situations don't last. But people think, hey, it's a relationship. It's not. You just agreed to do something that ain't have no destination. Sorry. If you got caught up talking to somebody and you guys hadn't established anything, it was a situationship. What's not considered a relationship? Feelings. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Feelings. You know what I mean? You know how many young ladies that got mad at me in my lifetime because they have feelings for me? And because I'm such a nice guy, they thought, well, because I got feelings towards you and because you had a conversation with me, that means you're mine. And I had to literally, you had to literally let them know, hey, your feelings are valid, but I don't feel the same way. Just because a person is kind to you doesn't mean that their feelings are something that you are looking at and being like, hey, you know that I feel this particular way about you. I had a situation happen in the summer of 2019. Young lady, we were friends. She had a crush on me. She told me that. The way I am is like this. If you got a crush on me, that's fine. I ain't gonna throw you away. I ain't gonna treat you like, you know, you're nobody. But I do distinctly set a boundary. I said, hey, I want to be friends. I'm not gonna put you over there, but do understand, I don't feel the same way about you. She gets upset, she gets mad, beginning of 2019, has a fit, calls me all type of names. Understandable. You know what, being the man that I am, I said, you know what, I apologize. I didn't have the intention of throwing you away, but I do want you to understand that there is a boundary. Now, me being the nice person that I am, I said, hey, we're gonna be cool. I went to Los Angeles. I came back. I went, decided, I said, I'm gonna take 4 days to myself because I had just dealt with the death of a cousin who had committed suicide in April of 2019. And I had dealt with walking off of a job because of stress, and both of my parents had went to the hospital within a 2-week period. And on top of that, because I was not working, I had to do Uber the whole summer. So I was getting ready to start a new job at a new banking institution. And then I was really trying to gather myself because emotionally, I was not in a position where I felt like I was healthy. So I met with another coach. We sat down, we had a conversation. I told one of my best friends that lives in Virginia, I said, hey, I'm gonna take 4 days off. He said, cool. I did not really inform anybody. The only thing I did was I posted on Instagram about my book that I was gonna be publishing at the time. This young lady got upset called me all type of narcissistic. You did this, you did that. Didn't have a conversation with me, just decided and said, hey, you are this particular way. Because she had feelings. But as I said before, just because you have feelings doesn't mean it's a relationship. There are a lot of men and women who get to this phase that because they feel a particular way, feelings they believe leads to entitlement. Can I tell you something? Hold on, I'm gonna put my phone on do not disturb because folks like to call and text me during this time and I don't want to be distracted. Can I tell y'all something about feelings? Y'all ready? Feelings have ears, they don't have eyes. Feelings hear what it wants to hear, but it doesn't have the ability to see. So a lot of times people with feelings, they're listening for things that fit into what they are comfortable with. But they don't have eyes to see that there's not enough information to have those feelings be in a place of rest. So there are a lot of people who they have feelings for somebody, but they don't know how to separate from that and actually get to know the person. Because a lot of times our feelings towards someone can be based off of either the potential of what it could be, or it could be based off of what we perceive it should be, based off of what we think something should be. But it doesn't mean that it is necessarily real. Feelings are not facts or reality. They're not. Now, I'm going to say this. Feelings, they have truth to them. You guys ready for the truth about feelings? They are a portion of your truth, but they are not the truth. Feelings are the same as opinions. They can vary. But just because I feel something, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is what it is. There are people, and I'm going to dive out of relationship for a second. I'm going to dive into the body of Christ for a second because we're believers here. I believe we are. There are people in the body of Christ who have feelings towards other people in different denominations of faith. And their feelings have become truth, or their feelings have become a doctrine, or their feelings have become a belief. And they treat people based off of a feeling, not a fact. You don't know that person. But because you feel that way, now I have a truth, a form of truth, but not the truth. The truth does not come from feelings. The truth comes from information. So, feelings, sex, friends with benefits, we already know about that. If y'all just having sex, or y'all just, hey, this is an arrangement, that ain't a relationship. That's just exercise. I ain't got to go too deep into that. We grown here. Next, this is gonna really mess folks up. Interest. So you mean to tell me my interest in a person is not a relationship? That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm gonna give you an analogy. Y'all ready? I have a menu in front of me at a restaurant, my favorite restaurant. It does not become a meal until I decide what I want off of that menu. You know what's crazy? What's crazy is friendships have been lost off of interest, not decisions. Well, girl, I'm interested in him. You can't talk to him. Does he know that you feel that way? Have you guys had a conversation? Have you guys decided y'all gonna go that way? Or is it you are territorial over someone that has not made a decision on you? People get territorial over interest. That's mine. I want this. I need to have that. But until you open up your mouth and make it known that that's what you want and it's invisible, it's not yours. It's not a relationship. I love Layla Hathaway. I think Layla Hathaway is beautiful. If we were in the same room and Layla Hathaway came over and said, hey, are you interested in me? I might say yes. But until Layla decides whether that interest is worth exploring, guess what? It's nothing. There are so many people, they have an interest. They don't have a relationship. That's why you see people guys that go down the street and catcall women and they're like, oh, I'm interested in you. I want to be with you. And they tell them no. And then it's like, oh, I'm upset. Because I feel like, well, if I'm interested in you and I came to you correct, that means that you need to give me the time of day. No, that doesn't mean anything. That simply means you're interested. But until, again, there is agreement, it means nothing. If you don't remember anything else that I say tonight, remember, agreement equals consent. Until there is an agreement, there is not consent. If you don't have agreement, and I don't mean agreement from just you, if you don't have agreement from both, it's not a relationship. It's either a situationship or any of the other things that we talked about tonight. All right. Open relationship. There is no such thing as an open relationship. Open relationship causes issues because that means that there is divided commitment. You cannot have divided commitment in a relationship. If there is divided commitment, guess what? It's not a relationship. It's not even a situationship. It's a mess. Choose wisely. You cannot have an open relationship. Can't. And people say, oh, I'm in an open relationship. Usually, if you look at most polygamous relationships, after about 10 years, the person that was in the polygamous relationship has psychological damage that takes about 10 to 20 years to reverse. Anybody that's in a polygamous relationship, you are opening yourself up to psychological damage that cannot be healed from a relationship. So psychologically, you're walking into a situation where your heart is divided. Your heart was never designed to be divided romantically between more than one person. It wasn't. Your heart was designed to focus on commitments. And it was designed to be focused on committing to one person. Your heart does not have the strength to handle multiple commitments romantically. If anybody ever tells you that, they are walking in deception. And you can tell them, I said that. Ladies, if you ever deal with a gentleman that has divided commitments, walk away. Walk away immediately. Walk away. Divided commitments means this. The Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. Double-minded. Think about this. If the God of eternity has his heart set on you, and he's devoted to you, what makes you think that you have the ability to devote yourself romantically to more than one person? You don't. Anybody that says that they have the ability to do that, they're walking in a level of deception. They're walking in a level of deception. That's why with the dating multiple people, I'm going to stray away from that. Now, if you decide you want to date multiple people, that's fine. But I want you to know that romantically, you better choose one. You better mature your eyes. You better figure out, is this what you want? Because if you don't, you're setting yourself up for a life of divided loyalty. And the crazy part about it is when your loyalty is divided amongst multiple people, it affects your decisions. What is not a relationship? Rebound, a bond created through crisis or trauma of a relationship that previously ended. Believe it or not, we see rebounds all the time. Well, if he don't do it for me, then I'm gonna go over here and he gonna do it for me. Well, she didn't do it for me and this person was available. Can I tell you something that is going to probably mess you up? I probably have people that will disagree with me about what I'm getting ready to say, but they're not here. Now, you can tell them I said this. But anybody that benefits from your trauma in a relationship, they're not really for you. You're vulnerable. Their vulnerability, your vulnerability is wide open. Your vulnerability is for sale. And they bought it at the lowest price possible. If a person really cares about you, they're going to give you the opportunity to heal. They're going to give you the opportunity to heal. If they want to be your friend, and if they really care about you, let me see if you still like me when I'm at 100%. You know what? I'm going to share something with y'all, something that men do. Men have a tendency to sometimes play off of have a tendency to sometimes play off of a young lady's vulnerability. She's vulnerable. And when a woman is vulnerable, can I say something? I'm giving y'all secrets. I'm giving y'all secrets from heaven. This is secrets that's been shared with me. That's why you're going to get a different point of view from me concerning relationships. I'm not going to give you the junk that the culture is going to give to you. I'm going to give to you information that I got straight from the master's office. When a woman is vulnerable because of trauma or because of heartbreak, her sex drive actually increases. It actually increases. When a woman is heartbroken, her sex drive actually increases because vulnerability, let me tell you something about vulnerability. Vulnerability does not know the position of your heart. Vulnerability only knows the feeling. Vulnerability only knows the feeling. And so it gives an action off of the feeling. That's why when a young lady is vulnerable and she comes to work with Coach Brian, you know what I do? You know what Coach Brian does? Coach Brian creates boundaries. Because when a woman is vulnerable and her sex drive is at a high level, what ends up happening is now if sex occurs, she pushes that vulnerability onto him and puts the expectation that he's going to fulfill what that vulnerability is asking for. Can I give you a nugget and you can write this down? Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Vulnerability. Y'all ready for this question? Y'all ready for this? Now, I'm going to give y'all something that's going to be fresh. Y'all ready?
Ready.
Vulnerability asks questions before it introduces intimacy. Vulnerability asks questions. It asks questions. People think vulnerability is just a silent thing that goes on. No, it asks questions. It asks questions. Have you ever been with someone and you shared something with them, and in the back of your mind, you like, did I make the best decision sharing that with them in this moment?
Like you question yourself?
You question whether you were supposed to share that with them. You question it. Now, Christina, ask yourself this question. Let's say that you and your potential significant other, y'all share something deep, right? When that conversation is over, your vulnerability is, did I make the right decision? Did I make the right decision? Share that with them. You want another example?
Are you asking me, is that currently happening, or are you saying?
I'm saying, has that
Okay,
happened?
because like now because my head honestly is just turning right now, like trying to figure out, like, have I done that? Is that happening right now? Oh, Zariah said hi, because she knows you or whatever. Her graduation is tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations, congratulations.
Coach said congrats. It's just wild hearing you say that, because like that's part of the reason why I'm so silent. I'm just like, vulnerability, ask questions. I'm just sitting here trying to like go through my Rolodex of life, like trying to seek moments and have I questioned myself after situations or conversation with a person. And I know that I have. I can't think of specific situations, but I know that I have, because I felt perplexed in moments before, like, did I just do that? Was that necessary? Should I be talking about this? Like, I've had those moments.
You notice you answer my question. You
The
notice
awkwardness.
that.
Yeah.
You notice that. That's what happens when you're vulnerable. That's what happens when you're vulnerable. Vulnerability, before it moves forward, it asks questions. Or after it has started, it starts to ask questions and it starts to wonder. Now, there's a difference.
Are we talking about the unsafe vulnerability though?
Oh, see, here's the thing. We're not even going to dive into those levels of vulnerability until, hold on, I'm going to tell you which week we're going to be. We're not diving into those levels of vulnerability until week 4.
Okay.
I just left you with a cliffhanger. I just left you with a cliffhanger, didn't I?
Yeah, because I ain't gonna say too much or nothing, but I feel like what we're talking about right now is really those moments, though. Those unsafe moments of vulnerability is when I'm like, I really don't know. I don't know. Okay, never mind. Whatever. I'll let you just wait till week 4.
Listen, I'm gonna share this with you. Every week, I am, what I told you at the very, very beginning, I am going to challenge your whole belief system about everything that the culture has introduced you to. This ain't something that I sat down one day and I decided, hey, I'm gonna do this. No, I have watched the culture for the last 30 plus years, since I was 9. And my whole goal is to present a different point of view that gives you a greater understanding of how you can become better by simply paying attention. Everything that I'm giving you tonight is from observation and realizing that, and I'm gonna say this right here, a lot of individuals that consider themselves to be a part of the body of Christ, believers, a lot of them do not really understand what relationship is. They understand the benefits of relationship, but they don't understand what relationship is. And that's why people are picking the people that they've picked the last 20 years, because people have understand the byproducts of relationship, but they don't understand what relationship really is. Relationship is a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice on behalf of another individual other than yourself? Something to think about? Oh yeah, we're gonna continue to go. Unfortunately, these are honored in the culture, but they usually lead to heartbreak, confusion, and trauma. All right. Now, here's my favorite part. Relationships require agreements. Relationships require agreements. You don't walk off of the lot with a car because you feel that way. You don't walk into a gas station and buy something off of a feeling. You agree to it. You agree to put your card inside of the machine and pay for it. Feelings do not mean agreement. Feelings only identify where you are. Relationships are established through intentional actions, not feelings. Assumptions, preconceived notions, or opinions do not establish relationships. You make the decision. I'll say it again. You make the decision. This means you must pay attention before considering adding someone to be a part of your life for any relationship, especially the romantic ones. Now, what does a successful relationship require from two people? Loyalty. Do we value what the other person is worth? You know, one of the things that I understand about loyalty, people don't value what the other person is worth. Now, if you had somebody that was doing your hair, ladies, and let's say that they may take a little bit longer, but your hair was done right every time, would you leave and go to someone that was less expensive and spent less time on your hair? Or would you go to the person that you know is gonna know what you need to be done?
The person I know. Oh,
What about you, Dr. Reed? How would you answer that question?
I mean, I don't want to state the obvious, but you would go to who you know that does a quality, excellent job and do it the way that you like it.
Right. Now, what you two have basically said in a nutshell is you're going to choose the worth of the experience of that individual over the convenience and the price. There are people who will buy a car simply because of how a dealership treats them. They can go get a more cheaper car, pay less, but they decided to go over here because they're getting quality service. So they choose to be loyal. Loyalty is key in a relationship. Reciprocity is the person giving to you as close to the contribution that you're giving to them. And it's not a contribution that they feel obligated to do. They're doing it because that's who they are, not because they want something in return. There are going to be many people that are going to be doing something not out of a place of reciprocity, but out of a place of obligation, if they're obligated to. Anytime somebody introduces you to an obligation, you want to deal with people that are willing to reciprocate. They're willing to give to you in return as close to what you gave to them. And there are going to be some times that you're going to give, and it may be above what the contribution, and there may be sometimes that they give and above the contribution. But it's the effort behind the contribution that makes it what it is. High level of communication. Do we speak the same language? Do we speak the same language? Meaning, if we disagree, are we able to understand that maybe we may not be on the same page, but we respect each other? Or maybe we need to spend a little bit more time in this area understanding and emphasizing each other and making sure that we learn what it is we need to learn from what that individual was saying. One of the things that has helped me out as a coach, and it really helps me, is I have learned how to communicate at the level that the person is speaking. God has blessed me with the ability to really listen to the language of a person's heart and translate it in a way that they are able to approach it. They're not afraid to approach it. Vision. Are y'all going in the same direction? Where are we going? If I'm in a relationship with a young lady, I don't need to be just saying, hey, beautiful. Let me tell you, side note, I done got so many young ladies that done told me they tired of the hey, beautiful text. They said the hey, beautiful text don't work no more. They said, well, I hear the hey, beautiful, but I don't hear any follow through. Because maybe he doesn't know where he's going. If a man doesn't know where he's going, and he's texting you, hey, beautiful, you might want to consider and say, hey, this ain't the road that I want to go down. So where are you going? Where are we going? Are we going in the same direction? Are you just trying to have sex? So you are trying to lead me down a road of convincing me that you want something from me that's in a relationship aspect, but you really want sex. Now me, y'all, I'm straightforward. I will tell a person in a minute, listen, I don't like you, but you at least know my intention. You at least know my vision. The vision that I have for you in my life is I don't like you. Be one of those individuals that you can describe the vision for your life and be able to exhibit that so that the person that's potentially looking at that can understand where they may fit. All right, intentionality. What's your intention and the temperature of that intention? What are your intentions with me? And what's the intensity behind that intention? Are you passionate about what we have going on? Are you passionate about your intention towards me? Or are you just with me because I'm available? Intention and availability are two different things. I can have the intention of doing something, but if I have the intention, that means I'm not waiting until it's available. I'm making it known right then and there that this is what I desire to do. So whether the availability is there or not, I have a goal in mind of this is where I'm going to go. When a man has an intention, you may not be available at that particular point in time, but if his intentions are made known and his intentions are get to know you, eventually you will become available if you so desire to go that road with him. Intimacy. It's enhanced through vulnerability. You cannot have intimacy without vulnerability. If anybody tells you otherwise, that they can get intimacy without vulnerability, they have lied to you. Pray for them immediately. Vulnerability, the doorway to intimacy and affection. Honesty, how truthful I am with the other person. Relationships matter. Relationships equal influence. You are responsible for who you allow to influence your life. Healthy relationships begin with information, not feelings. Feelings may only introduce us to look further, but it isn't the conclusion. The conclusion is the choice. Anyone that tries to influence your choice opposite of what is healthy for you is not looking for a relationship with you. They are looking to live vicariously through you. Relationships should be built on foundation, not promises. I had a little typo there, so I'll fix that for you guys before I send it off. Relationships equal influence. Relationships, they influence your decisions. So you better make sure that the people that you have relationship with, whether it's romantic, whether it's family, whether it's friendships, you better make sure that they're good, because they shape what you choose. They shape your world. They shape your thought process. They shape your perception. Make sure that they're good. What is the foundation of a healthy relationship? Number one, agreement. Have I made a quality decision about this person? What have I made a decision on this person about? Is it quality? Or is it, hey, I just decided that I wanted to do this because I felt a certain way? The agreement cannot be based on feelings. It must be based on information. If an agreement is based on feelings and there is no information, when information is presented, feelings will be confused. Your feelings will be confused once the information. So that's why get the information before you make the agreement. Number two, are you yourself, or do you change according to the person that you're with? Can you be yourself? Can you be who you are? Or do you have to evolve and change forcefully? Some relationships don't work because people feel like they have to change into something that they're not ready to be. The person that you're with should be able to accept you as you are, who you are. And if you are developing, they will understand and they will walk accordingly to that. Are you with somebody that's going to cause you to change, force you to change? Not organically, but they're forcing you to change because they want you to fit the mold of something that they believe you should be, but you have not sat down and really thought about that. Are you changing because you desire to be better, or are you changing to get the strength of someone else's influence in your life? Change because you desire to, not because somebody else wants you to. Can we have respective differences? Can we disagree? Can I disagree with you and you still be okay being who you are with me? Or does the disagreement mean that you throw away everything that we built? If the disagreement that I have with you throws away everything we built, it's not really a relationship. It was a situation that was just waiting to blow up. Is there trust? That's a simple one. Do you trust this person to be honest with you? Do you trust this person is going to protect you? Do you trust this person is going to believe in you? Do you trust this person is going to be who they said that they were going to be? Can you evolve safely? Can I evolve and you not get upset because I am not the person that you know me as? Are you okay with evolving? Or are you comfortable with me being in the same place because you benefit from it? Number 6, can growth be achieved organically? Can I organically be who I am supposed to be with your help? Are you helping me organically be? Or are you trying to get me to be something that I'm not ready to be? And you're trying to force it to me before it's time. One thing about relationships is they are built off of organic elements. You can't force someone to change. The only way that you can introduce change is that you first become the change that you want to see. You cannot change a person, but if you want there to be a change, you have to then begin to understand what the change that you need requires. All right. Levels of relationship. Platonic, that's friendship. That's my buddy. That's my pal. We shared some things together. We grow together. Romantic, that's my boo. That's the person that I intend on building a future with in a romantic way. Love. Platonic is more agape love, brotherly love. Romantic is more of an affectionate love that I'm building. Family. This is the only part, this is the only relationship that does not happen, or it happens without your permission. God is the one that brings you together as far as a family. You don't control what family you're born into. You don't. That's just the way that it is. Number 4, marriage. That's the place where the marriage relationship, that's actually, if we look at it from a biblical sense, marriage is actually a ground level relationship. Means that you build from the ground up. A lot of people put marriage at this pinnacle. But can I tell you something about marriage? Marriage does not start here. Marriage actually starts down here. It starts at the lower level. Everybody that gets married starts at the ground. If anybody tells you that their marriage did not start at the ground level, they're lying to you. Marriage starts at the ground level. All except number 3 requires agreement. You choose your agreements. How do I prepare for great relationships? Number 1, commit to grow. Even small changes, they make a difference. They make a big difference. Number 2, understand that people don't need your permission to grow. The moment I got to get permission to grow from you, it ain't a relationship. It's not. People should not need your permission to grow. That's a relationship. You're supposed to grow. Number 3, authenticity brings truth, not feelings. Your authenticity is what brings you the truth. Being authentically who you are brings you to truth, not your feelings. Now, your feelings may lead you to pursue the truth, but authenticity leads you to the truth. Your feelings matter, but your decisions tell the story. Your feelings matter, but your decisions tell the story. Number 5, you must return next week. There are 9 weeks left. So, you guys, if you have enjoyed week 1, guess what? It's only going to get deeper. Next week, we're going to be defining your why. We're going to be defining it. We're going to be asking some questions, some deep questions. You know, something that I notice about today's generation of relationship gurus? These jokers don't be asking deep questions. They be asking service questions. People more concerned about your assets and your credit score than your actual character. They are. People are concerned more about your assets, what you have.
The surface level.
Service. Can I tell you something that I learned over the years? And I'll be 39 in a couple of weeks. I learned that at any particular moment, you can lose possessions. But it takes years to lose your character. Years. You can lose $100,000 in a matter of moments, but your character can last you a lifetime. Your character can last you a lifetime. So my question to you is this. Are you ready to open up to a brand new thought process about relationships? Or do you want to accept what the culture is giving you? Now, one of my big brothers in the relationship field said something very, very key. He said, God is getting ready to do some amazing things in relationships, but it's all about your education. My goal is for everyone that becomes a part of this class, and I'm sure that if you guys want to share your notes with those that didn't get a chance to come in tonight, I'm sure that you will ask yourself, what will you gain in this 10 weeks? What you will gain in this 10 weeks is you will gain the ability to assess relationships at the highest level possible. And that is from the level of truth. Can I give you this nugget?